When it comes to taking notes, there's a couple different ways that we learn how to take notes. Some of us are visual learners. We can do our note taking one way. Another way is we're auditorial type of a learner, where we can hear it or have to hear our notes repeated over and over again. And today I'm going to talk about the third type of learner, a kinesthetic learner, and how to take notes. And you'll find it's a combination of a lot of different things, a lot of different ways to take notes. A kinesthetic learner has to be touching or moving or doing something. So let's move. When it comes to working as a kinesthetic learner, sometimes we have to learn our notes or do our notes while we are eating. I think I'll give you one of these. And oh yeah, listening to music. I just love Coldplay. Another way people take notes is on note cards. You ever watch a person doing a speech and they have their notes on a note card? And they move their note cards as they're going through. You know, by the time they've come to give the speech, they already know what's on those note cards. It's another way to kinesthetically learn. I even suggest when you are doing a paper of sorts, when you're writing those long essays, and you're a kinesthetic type learner or note taker, use those pieces of paper and put your different pieces in it, and then you can move them around from place to place until you see what fits. And not only in English you can use this, think about postcards in math. Remember the days of flashcards? And once you have taken your notes, you can look at them kinesthetically. Think about this. Earlier I mentioned about eating when you're taking your notes. How about reading your notes and walking or reading them to a recorder and listening to them on your iPhone that way? Just a couple different ways to do it. What we're looking at is when you take notes kinesthetically, you're doing it in a feeling, touching way. You're being part of the material itself. And the ultimate way to take a kinesthetic note is gather the information and teach those notes to somebody else. Another way to take notes is to create them as you see fits you best. Think about it. We're using a physical, that is, we are moving or touching or doing in creating our notes as a kinesthetic learner. We can rewrite them in math, we can use a calculator. We can always get up, sit down, get up, sit down, move about fairly frequently. One of my favorite ways to take notes is just to use something like a Google Slide, where we can go ahead and say we're learning about the concept of a hamburger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clean things out, and maybe I find a text box. And in the text box, I'm going to draw a text box here, and maybe I put the word hamburger. And so I have a nice little text box, and I can put that into the center of my page, and I see the word hamburger, and maybe I'm learning more about what a hamburger is, and I have to maybe say what's on it. So I could have 2 all beef patties, and maybe another item as I'm taking the notes on what I'm learning about is maybe it's special sauce. Okay, and I'll put special sauce. And what we're actually creating is a web, you know? Maybe we're doing something in an English class. We're talking about Shakespeare. And maybe we're talking about Romeo and Juliet. Or even here, one of my all-time favorites, Hamlet. And maybe we want to talk about who some of the different people are in these productions. So we might have Hamlet and Ophelia.